Hey everyone,
Hi, everybody.
how are you all doing? It is roasting here. I say that it's not as hot as it is where Corey is, but inside it's warmer, which is where it matters. At
It's
this moment in
absolutely where it
time,
matters.
yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm nocturnal at the moment. I've got like everything closed. It's going, But on the other hand, we have some prompting fun. We're going to play around with GPT-5 and see if we can get some writing done without having any moderation issues hitting us. Fingers crossed. Hi,
Yep.
Eric.
So no mentioning clotted cream.
Yeah, no mentioning clotted cream. We got to keep things purely. We got to go away from that cozy vibe. That's too much, apparently. Um, but yeah. So what our plan is to have a play around with presets. We found that the general purpose prompt actually worked well to get some clean prose, and that there seems to be a heavy leaning towards words before like influencing the style. So I wanted to test that out first as a premise with just the general purpose prompt to see how that does, and then take whatever we get from that to use as a guide for writing. That's kind of my thought to start with. And then we'll start putting in some more detailed prompting, some constraints, and just see what tweaks we need. We kind of want to keep the prompt as small as possible while and using the stuff that we've written, because then it means it's more adaptable to any style. Because I think the issue with a lot of writing prompts is that they're good, but only for you have to spend so much time fine tuning them to your writing style that the moment you use someone else's, it's like, oh, there's that disconnect. You have to kind of tweak.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'll dive in. So we did some. You might notice the high word count on one of these. We were doing some practice earlier, but what I think we're going to start with is doing just a continue the story. And we're going to do this with GPT-5, and then once we've got that sorted, see how applicable it is to 5 mini and see if we can kind of vamp up the prose quality using the same techniques. So I'm going to do a continue the story prompt. I'm going to go to GPT-5. I'm just going to ask for 200 words for the sake of like brevity. We found so far as well that GPT-5 at 400 words requested, it's pretty good at keeping to 400 words within about 75 words, like within reason. The moment you get
Yeah.
to 1,000 words, it's suddenly like, oh, let's write 2,500. And I'm like, let's not. So that's something that maybe in instructions has to be. I don't know if this is like because of the new verbosity,
Yeah.
like parameter, but it's something worth keeping in mind when prompting that you might have to kind of address through words rather than parameter shifts, because people keep inventing new parameters. So this was originally the prose before is it's my little red riding hood. So this is pure Kate prose. This was what I was doing when I was writing via dictation over November. So it's been edited, but it's like my I guess kind of my style for this. So it'd be interesting to see how it reacts. Like there's a lot of thoughts in italics. Kind of the sentences are quite short. There's descriptions, but they're like a little bit like kind of um sharp even when they're like descriptive. They're kind of a bit more like they've got um some opinion behind it, and they're kind of like not too traditional. So that and I don't have that many kind of dialogue tags. Or if there are, there's like a description paragraph of description. So it's kind of like one or the other. So I'm kind of curious to see. So it's done 240 words, which I'm happy with. Um Okay, interesting. So it's got some kind of so obviously there is a chapter finishing this, but I'm just curious to see um what's going on. Okay, interesting. She seems to have drawn like a healing like or a protective circle. It's kind of gone a bit witchy. I mean, I kind of
Mhm.
like it feels a little bit abrupt, but like, it's interesting. The conversation feels quite fast paced, which if you look at how the dialogue with her granny went, that had a similar cadence. I feel like when you look at the kind of like yeah. So I feel like it feels familiar and like there's a lot more description than there was in the stuff that we were dealing with on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. And
Like
I mean, to me, just reading as on the outside, this does feel like Kate style to me. You
okay.
know, it looks, and also comparing it to like what you wrote above it, it
Yeah.
looks like it would be a very minimal effort to kind of whip it into shape. Um, like
Yeah,
just
I agree.
in reading it, I wasn't seeing really anything that's like, ooh, that doesn't like sound like Kate. There were some ideas in there that like you're talking about, taking it in like a witch direction.
Yeah,
That you didn't give it any guidance. Literally, continue the story,
exactly.
right? So,
Yeah, and like the fact that Granny is a witch.
right,
So of course there's going to be some kind of like that makes
yep,
sense and then it's kind of going more into that rather than the Red Riding
yep,
Hood vibes because of course there is no codex, there's no genre, there's
that's right.
nothing except the prose before guiding it. So that was
Yep.
really interesting. I think what I might do next is just for comparison, maybe I'm going to take Sonnet because that's the next comparable priced model. I think because like Opus is like way more expensive, so like Sonnet's kind of more on a, I guess what they're trying to compare with vibe. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, song is still more expensive than
I mean, Sonnet's
GPT-5.
still more expensive, but like there isn't a haiku, so
Yep,
just
yep.
see how different it is, just to kind of get a bit more of a
Am I seeing more AI-isms highlighted in the sonnet than the
yeah.
GPT-5?
Yeah, I definitely noticed that with but I don't know if that's because GPT-5 has new AI-isms that we've yet to learn.
Like what we were seeing this morning, some
Yeah,
of
with
those
the
kind
lips.
of weird phrases. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like we'll get to know them, but the traditional AI-isms they don't have. Um,
Yep.
See, this feels more like perhaps the direction I would have gone,
Hmm.
but I mean, I'm not mad at either of them. I feel both of them have done a
Yeah.
fairly good job, um, at this
Yeah.
style. Um,
The sonnet seems to have kind of stuck with the world that was built in the previous writing.
yeah,
Um, GPT-5, I kind of like the language a little bit better, but obviously it was given a lot more liberty to, you know, it could infer this as a fantasy story, right? And if it's a
yeah.
fantasy story, it's like all things are on the table. So
Yeah, so I feel that maybe, like, with GPT-5 prompting, like, from this experiment, it's kind of like "Okay, we need to give it some constraints on maintaining the world that we've already got because it wants
yeah,
to kind of expand beyond what parameters we've set."
yeah.
So, I'm gonna make a snippet. 5 likes to go beyond stated world building, etc. Might need to prompt to keep things in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that is a good first kind of. So actually, no, I just wanted to fill the chapter. Okay. So then the second piece was the first chapter of Only Dogs Left. We did a bit more experimentation, just pre-stream, just trying these out, but I'm going to go just, I just want to, I'm going to go, wait, this is, general purpose, 200 again. We're going to try GPT-5 and Sonnet again, just to see kind of where we're getting the quirks.
Hmm.
Because I'm comparing it with something that I'm intimately familiar with, which is Sonnet 4, so I can kind of work out enough to know what the quirks of GPT-5 are for this particular model. While we're waiting for this to load, the third example is part of a scene that I did years ago to do with Only Dogs Left, the cozy mystery. So again, different vibe. So I feel like there wasn't quite the transition is a little bit clunky. That's just my first observation in that they've kind of done their
We
prompt.
don't know what song it is going to generate, but this is a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, this has kind of gone back to the, and I think to be fair, this is in my prose. There is a lot
Yes.
more short dialogue
Yep.
in
Yep.
this. There's more, I guess, dialogue tags, but that's fine. Um, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like gone outside the parameters of the story again. It's kind of not kept the, like, it's kept the style, but it's kind of just suddenly like thrown in more plot than is necessarily needed. It's
Hmm.
trying too much, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And once again, it only had your prose to go off of. It didn't have any world building, any like rules of the world or anything like that. So,
Yeah. Um
so yeah, I'm really curious to see Song at 4 now to see if we see exactly the same behavior where it like sticks to the world building.
yeah.
I see the AI-isms highlighting the
I
first
know.
paragraph.
It's so curious. Yeah, so this is again, yeah, it's stuck to the world building. But on the other hand, for the next 200 words in the original version, it did something I had something very similar. So like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
feels a more, at this point in the scene, it feels a more natural conclusion.
yeah.
Um
Yeah, especially since you've just gone through a long passage of dialogue, having a breather and having some
yeah.
descriptive prose is nice for the reader. So,
So I'm then thinking, okay, so do I need to introduce instructions regarding pacing?
yeah.
Like
And
that would
also
be
maybe what pacing means, you can have extended periods of conversation, but if you do that, you have to take a rest, right? Um,
so yeah, I think that's something that Oh, and transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Transitions between prose before need some work. Um, I feel like Chat GPT almost is, or like GPT-5 is kind of like reliant on person to person dialogue to build the scene. I mean, I don't know. We can see how it goes, but um,
Yeah, I mean, though, in this particular example, you gave it a lot of dialogue, so
yeah.
it
But I mean,
it's going to mimic that, right?
yeah.
So
But I was thinking like in the sense of like it's not both scenes were immediately like needed
yeah,
to introduce a character. Like they didn't
right.
pause. Like there was like, one paragraph, I think in both cases before new character came in, stuff happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like obviously two isn't enough to make any conclusions, but it feels like it's something to keep an eye on. This is a scene. It's set in the the protest for the manor getting sold, and I've chosen to cut off the scene at this point where a fight begins, and Maya is watching on this fight. So it'll be interesting to see how it continues, if it continues.
Hmm.
Of course, I've changed this since last time to route it through OpenRouter, um, rather than OpenAI directly via my API key. So I'm still paying the same, but
Yes.
this seem hopefully it keeps working. I was saying this feels like Gemini 2.5, having to wait for all the thinking, so it means I get a drink in between. It's great. I don't
Are
know if
you
this is because
drinking a hot drink or a cold drink, Kate?
it's a hot drink still. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Still a
Same
cup of
for me
tea.
for breakfast this morning.
Yeah. It's like I'll have a cold drink like in the evening when I'm having dinner and stuff, but a hot drink's just nice. Okay, so I'm also noticing that oi is coming up a lot. I'm kind of curious if okay, so there's no ois in my prose here. I'm kind of wondering if this is very much a British English thing it's trying to add in.
Could be because I mean, even without I don't know. In this test novel, is the language set to British English?
Let me check.
Because you are also
Yeah,
using words like in your prose that it
would
could
indicate that.
yeah, it could get a hint from.
Yeah, I think it's because it was in the red sample and also this, like it's come up twice in two different types, and I was like, oh, okay, there's no precedent in either of those for it,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah,
there was in the Delilah version.
yeah. I mean, I have to say that as an American, I would expect "oi" to be there. So, as an American model, maybe GPT-5 feels the same way.
Yeah, it's like they're British, they have to use this word. Yeah, I mean, I love that. Under my roof, Sebastian, you keep civil tongue. Your roof leaks. Just
So Eric is asking, where did you go to set the English and British?
oh, so if you in the Novelcrafter interface, if you go up to where your title is, your book, there's a cog icon, and there's settings throughout Novelcrafter. So we've got them in the codex, etc. So you go into there, and then you go into the writing tab, and here you can set your language not only to different versions, variants of English, but to these are the other popular languages that our users have, and then like every language. This controls like your like in browser spell check, your um, the language it asks prose to be generated in. So it's kind of it's used for that. Um, I have no idea where
So I
Nora's
mean,
come from. I think have they made Nora up, or is she actually a character that was seen before this? Oh no, she was in there. Okay, she's a miscellaneous like NPC, or like she's like a background character.
this is another example of a very heavy dialogue generation,
Yeah,
which doesn't frighten me at all because that's the way that I write. But I can imagine if someone was, say, writing epic fantasy,
yeah. I'm
it
like
would.
there is portions where there is a lot of dialogue and no description, mainly because it was like lots of people talking over each other. But I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just kind of not. It's got more stage directiony. Like this feels almost like a script in a way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, see, for me, it would be very easy to go in and just add the descriptive prose where I thought
yeah.
the reader needed a break, you know. Um,
Let's see how Claude interprets this.
to be fair, it also wrote a lot of dialogue, but not nearly as much.
Yeah. And it's kind of like given more it feels more like just yeah, there's just more to it. Yeah, we don't really say oi much. Like I mean maybe like Londoners do. Like it's very like it feels very Cockney. Or like Victorian era British.
But I have to say, as a Californian, we do say dude.
Dude. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I feel like this is maybe I mean the first paragraph I did like. I feel like that maybe this cozy has been where it's least kind of
Mm,
followed. See when you
mhm.
say duck mate hello, I'm like Yorkshire, Mancunian, Southerner? Um I mean like so for Eric, I mean it was just a preset that I made kind of uh out of uh you know, uh, my random head. But like I've got a script preset that asks it to do. Dude's perfectly good bad English. That it's not done actually. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's not followed the script preset. Oh, that's fascinating.
Which
Maybe
model,
it's
Kate?
because
I
it's
didn't get to
continued the
see.
story. I bet it's because it's continued the
Oh,
story.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Mm. I mean, I'll see how it does when it starts generating, but I have to say my go-to term as a Brit is mate. I use it consistently. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like mate is like I probably use duck more than mate, but that's because of my family, I guess. Like because my grandparents and my dad are Yorkshire, so they say that all the time. Yeah, it depends on what area you're from for the UK to say mate. Um, what else? Yeah. And then there's like in the UK, it's all the different ways of saying a bread roll. That's just what this conversation is reminding me of. It's the map of bread rolls. Um, I am a BAP regional area, whereas I now live in a roll regional area, which is really confusing if you're asking for a sausage roll and you mean the pastry and not the BAP. So I wonder if I've reached my limit.
Something has reached its limit right now.
Mm. But yeah, so I think we can take. Why is this not stretched out? But I think we can take this information, like, I think we can make yeah, no, that's fine. Oh, there you go. Here, Eric.
Yeah.
It's kind of done that. My preset is fetch me a microphone, fetch him an ice pack. Okay, well, I'll section that just to have it. So I think there is still, shit, sorry, pardon. Oh my God, that works fast. Just wanted to click off.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Jesus. If I go on tweak and generate, I'll just go on my prompts. It's a preset that I made. Let me just put it in the GPT-5, how good is it lesson. There you go. Yeah, so AI understands that collar and color are the same word, but it will still use the American version often, which is kind of annoying when you set British English. Oh, hi, Kat. How are you doing? Lola, oh, Jesus. Yeah.
All of a sudden, everything was flying by, and
I
Kate
know.
was
I
like,
was just like,
"Whoa, stop!"
it's like panic mode activate.
Yeah.
I've just seen Professor Griswold saying definitely a BAP. Exactly. It's a BAP. Okay, so we have these. Let's go into the prompt library. We have these observations that we've made. I think we can start making a preset, try and do something. So I'm going to go down to scene beat completion, general purpose, new preset. And I'm just going to call this GPT-5. It's now appeared here. To make things a little bit cleaner, I'm just going to go onto that. I will zoom in because I realize I've not actually been zoomed in this entire time. And I'm going to attach a collection of GPT.
GPT infinity.
Yes, infinity, because this will be for whatever GPT model comes out. Okay, instructions. So, please keep in mind, we writing a specific moment in time. Don't go beyond the word count to keep writing. This is not the end of our writing session. Don't go drastically beyond the stated world building or where the story is leading. There is no obligation to force a new character in or additional dialogue unless stated in the scene beat. Because the thing is, like, new characters fine, and if you're pantsing, this is great. Like, you could just leave that. Like, but I
Yep.
think for
Yep.
when we've got instructions, we kind of want to keep something a little bit more. Yeah. Ensure, please keep in mind that we are continuing on seamlessly from the prose above. Don't use random, don't repeat sentences or what am I thinking? You know, when it's like or make jumps without logic. So if you have an open AI key, you can use it via OpenRouter by attaching it. Like if you go into your settings, I think it's an option. You
Yep.
do
In
have
your
to pay a
account.
slight fee, like a 5% fee that just go off your OpenRouter credits. However, I mean, to lose the moderation, it's kind of worth it. That's what I've done for this session. It's not currently available. Like if you go onto the GPT-5 like page within OpenRouter, it still says you have to use your own key. I think that's because of rate limits. Like I think, to be honest, if OpenRouter used the API key, it would get overloaded so much. So like,
Mhm.
so yeah, you can use it, but you have to have your own key. At least when I checked 2 hours ago, I don't know if it's changed since. Brian says, I've been watching the walkthrough to see if Novelcrafter is for me. I was curious. I've not written a book. I've just been writing scenes. Can I just, yeah, you can just copy and paste the text into Novelcrafter. Like, you can just go in like the right interface. Yeah. That's what I did with these, because these are all in different stories. But I just
Yeah.
copied and pasted them into this blank novel without a codex. So yeah, no, absolutely.
Um, so going back to the preset, did you have anything in there about the pacing?
No, I was going
No.
to get onto
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think no, I'll do it as the same. I wasn't sure how to phrase it, so I was going to ask you. I was just kind of doing the ones that I
So
knew of.
yeah, I would say balance
Oh,
uh,
balance.
balance sections of heavy dialogue with um, sections of prose um, to maybe um, to
Um,
I'm just
keep
saying
engaging,
to keep
pacing.
the keep the reader engaged. Um, because I mean, to me, a lot of dialogue is fatiguing and a lot of prose is fatiguing, but you can strike a balance.
Yeah. So I added a to keep the reader engaged and be able to breathe. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that's
but which is
perfect.
a catered them, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch says I also like to paste prose in the plan tab in the scene where it belongs, then immediately build a summary. Wait, so do you paste it into the scene description box, or I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah. Um, okay. Transition, done that. Ha. I'm just adding that. It's okay to have a character not speak. Like, you don't need to be compulsive about this. Um, Obviously, this is very much based on no codex. We're just using the context of things. But I think that's worth seeing kind of where we can take it. Okay, yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess you could, yeah. So I mean, I always have seen summaries here. I know a lot of people mistakenly put their prose in here, which was why I was just checking. But yeah, I guess you can do that, and then when you're in write, you can see. I have my chapter above, but like on by default it's to the side. But that's just to save space in recording. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we've got our prompt. Actually, wait, I'm going to keep that snippet open. You live in the plan outline. Oh, in the outline, yeah. I like the outline, actually. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use the preset that we've just made and generate a new iteration, and use that to then compare and see how our preset has worked, essentially. And that's what I like doing when testing prompts. Like, I'll make some changes, test them, make them out. So I'll
Yeah.
test with all 3 lots, I think, just to see comparatively how it's shifted. But yeah. Hmm. I misremembered how plan works. I click a tiny pencil which goes to right. I don't watch closely enough. Oh, yeah. If you click the little pencil, that's fine. I thought you meant you were just like doing it in the description box. But yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with GPT-5. I'm working on a blog post at the moment, and like not the chat version. The chat version is awful. Um, but I mean, not awful, but it's awful for prose generation. But
Yeah.
like the non-chat version, I'm actually really liking it. Okay, it's obsessed with Rue. I don't know if Rue gets mentioned. Um, I need to, when you're like, yeah, okay, it's mentioned. That's why. That's why. Okay, so really likes calling back on stuff. Um, I mean, I feel this is definitely more in keeping with
It is. Yeah.
the style.
It's hard to tell about the pacing because it did introduce some description, but it wasn't like a lot.
No, but I guess it was enough to. I feel like it's still like feeling
Yeah.
obliged to have conversation because, like, here we've got such long bits between Red speaking,
Right. Right.
whereas here it's kind of like she's speaking every other line.
Hmm.
I'm also doing that. Um, so it's getting there, but like not quite there. Hi, Paul. How are you doing? Okay, let's see our second prose variant and see how it does there. Um, E. GPT-5. Hold on, so wait, I should just edit this preset so that. Oh, can I not here? It's fine. What about preset? There. Oh, there's like a really slight breeze, and it is so heavenly. Oh my god.
You might be hallucinating it.
I might be. I'm just slowly like disintegrating. My like eczema's really flared up in my joints as well. Sucks because I keep wanting to scratch my arm, but don't want to end up with scratch marks all over me. Um, and this is taking forever. Well, I might as well, while I'm waiting, just set that up to at least be so I can just click generate. And then I'll generate that while I'm talking about this. Gotta get a streamline all that and stuff. But yeah, how are you all finding GPT-5? There's quite a few of you here. Like, have any of you been doing a lot of tests with it? Have you found that you've had to change your prompts since? I wish that, yeah, I mean, an AC pump. Yeah, AC is just not really a thing in the UK, but I feel like at some point I'm going to need to get it. Um, Unfortunately, I did have the big expense of like a dog recently, so AC might be
Yeah,
a bit
there
out of
is
my
that. There is that family news. That's true.
there is that. Oh yeah, that cash family news. The pupper isn't here yet. Otherwise, I'd show him. Don't worry. As soon as the pupper's here, we'll have a pupper cam. But yeah. Um, Still obsessed with dialogue.
Yes. Yep. It does feel though like you have successfully kept it more on track regarding the story.
Yes.
it is to me interesting that it seems very prone to dialogue, even though, we put in that explicit instruction not to.
Yeah,
Um,
that is true. Little window unit. I guess if it doesn't have to be like you don't have to knock down the walls to get it. Like,
yeah.
yeah, just close the door, have it in one room.
And
Yeah,
then
I guess the more heat waves we get as well.
you'll find that you and Sam spend all of your time in that one room, you know.
Yeah, yeah, we're all there. Or we end up if it's I guess if it's a window one with like one of those like tubes that sticks out, you can carry it around. So it'll just be there on a trolley and we'll move it from room to room. Oh yeah, I was gonna generate the next prose while looking. Okay, so Kat says that she's been having a good time world building with GPT-5 but writing with Claude. Okay, I've not tried. I'm currently in the editing phase of writing, which is why I've not had as much time to write because I'm editing on paper. Um Eric says, I love my Claude 3.7 for sci-fi fantasy, but I've been playing around with GPT-5. I've noticed the same that in chat it sucks, but creating the prose in write is better. Yeah. I think it's just kind of playing around, working out where you like it. Dragon
Yeah.
Loft says, I've only tried GPT-5 in chat, regular 5 not being available on Open Router. Yeah, I mean Mini is quite good if you've not got 5 proper. Paul says, so sad you aren't around here. I have an extra in the garage on the shelf waiting. Oh, I know. That would be amazing just to have an aircon unit. I'll just look them up. I'm sure they'll be. I don't know. They must be reasonable. Someone, maybe I should have like an author page, and people can just donate me some aircon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. I was getting tired of Gemini Pro for world building. GPT-5 seems less effusive so far. Okay, well, no, it's glad that you've got something. Like, I think that's the thing. We sometimes just need like to spice things up, change.
Yeah.
Consider going with a mini split AC, usually more efficient, more cool for the cache. Let me just. Eric says, paper, what is this mystical thing you speak of? I know, right? I like had to buy some new ink for my printer recently, and I was like, damn. Yeah. But no, I find so I spend all day staring at a computer. I sometimes, if I'm wanting to do my writing, I just want some paper. GPT-5 waffles a lot, too creative and derailed, uh, without the proper prompt. Yeah, I think we found that in the test today. It's not. It needs a
Yeah.
bit of
It
coaxing to
needs
get.
guidance. Yeah.
Yeah. It wants. Well, it's basically. I think because I was watching. Don sent a video by uh, AI News and Strategy Daily, Nate B. Jones. Let me just paste in this video. Really interesting, but it was looking at the system prompt of Chat GPT and showing that it kind of like OpenAI is leaning towards that agentic model where they're kind of getting um it to work by itself, like it's not asking as much like clarification. So I think it's kind of just
Right.
it's trying to do too much, which will be good in some ways, but when you're wanting more control of your writing, it's not good. So yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I've got pink because that was the pen at hand. Pen at hand? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the pen
that's
at hand.
okay.
Yeah, I was like, wait, it's something about that phrase sounded wrong. And I was like, no, that's what I meant. Um, but yeah, paper's always good. Okay, so yeah, I feel like although I love that, I'll bring him panadas tomorrow. Bring sleep. Um, better, but still not quite there. Let's have a look at the final one and see how this did. Wait, let me just name.
See, we've moved on from Kate get a dog to Kate getting air conditioner. As
Yeah, I mean, anyone would think that I have like a shopping addiction.
I mean, to be fair, a dog is not really shopping. That's
No, although now we're getting a dog, there is a lot of shopping involved.
Yeah,
It's
there
suddenly
are
like, oh,
accessories.
yeah, and like beds, and we're getting a pet cam, because it was like, so I don't follow the dog around everywhere to make sure he's okay. I'm like, we're gonna have like a camera downstairs so I can just like have a live feed. So that's, it's my own pet cam.
That really sounds funny. Follow the dog around to make sure it's okay.
Well, it's like I don't want the dog to be like, the dog doesn't need to be dependent on me, but I need to make sure that the dog is okay. Like, what if it's suddenly like standing by the door because it needs to go to the loo? And so he's a mixed breed. He's a rescue. So they're not sure what breed he is. He kind of like has Labradory vibes, but he's a little bit
He
stockier.
does. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but he loves food, so like I think there's some Labrador in him, but I mean, hopefully not, because my table legs are metal. That would not be fun for him. But yeah, chew toys. So he's 3 years old, so he's not like a babby. Um, but yeah, yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
get
but you're
lots of
gonna
toys.
baby him. You're gonna baby him
Oh
though.
yeah, oh yeah,
So
baby him, like, Um, oh, but it was so funny because he was just fascinated by my husband. Like, he would not stop staring at him and just like looking up, and just the hair man. Like, our niece does it as well. She'll just stare at him because she's never seen someone with such luscious locks. Um, oh my god. Has anyone seen oh, bells, that's a good idea. Does anyone know who Joe Wicks is? He's like a TV personality that's like very active, and like he goes on. Let me just find an image for. Um, so this is Joe Wicks, who kind
yep,
of has a vibe of my husband. And he
yep.
was on TV the other day, and my niece saw him and was like, "Sam, Sam," and she got really upset when he went off the TV. But yeah, the pupper is 3, so he's just turned 3. And my wife talks more to our golden than she does with me. Oh, I mean, I'll absolutely talk more to the dog than I will to my husband, mainly because the dog will be there during the day. But okay, let's look at this. Still lots of dialogue. You're bleeding on my shoes. Stand still and stop peacocking. Take what you said. Take back what you said about the birch. Uh, I mean, again, I like it more. It's getting there. I feel like
Yeah,
there's still something needed to do with the pacing, which we can
yeah.
we can do. We can iterate. That's the whole point of iterations. Eric says, "Love Goldens. As a child, my family raised German Shepherds. Oh, there was one dog that, had they been more local to us, I would have absolutely adopted. And he was a German Shepherd, Springer Spaniel cross. So he basically looked like a spaniel, but had slightly pointed ears and German Shepherd colouring. So beautiful. Um, Prompts. Okay. I see us. Well, I mean, Sam did write a story about us adopting a puppy. And then suddenly we're adopting a puppy. I
Yeah.
manifested so damn hard for the last, you know,
Speaking of
6 years.
witchcraft.
What am I doing? Where am I looking? GPT-5. So I'm not going to worry about making a new preset, because you can see the history in presets. So what do we want to add? So how do we want to change this? Oh yeah, I mean, like, I think it's because of the amount of like what American and British readers, I guess, read. And so I guess everyone has their own voice. It'd be interesting to see, like, just like if people have like ghostwriters, if the ghostwriter's nationality influences. That'd be fascinating. But yeah, okay, Corey, do you have any suggestions for
So
how we
I would,
can?
yeah, I would say tweak it to say balance sections of frequent dialogue with longer sections of prose. And then maybe get rid of the rest of that sentence.
Oh, this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah,
I would, yeah. And just I would just try that. We're kind of making it as simple as possible,
yeah, okay,
like being very precise about like
yeah,
what we're, trying to get.
okay. And I don't need to change the prompt because, like, I just changed the preset, so it's already there.
Yeah.
I think because every model has different personalities, sometimes you do just need to spend a bit of time kind of getting to learn its quirks and work out. Like Corey, out of the box, will be fine. Like he might use the first couple of bullet points in a preset and not the last one, like just
Yeah.
to get it to keep to existing world building. But I would need, like, well, personally, I would prefer something that just has a little bit more balance, because I don't want to have to then like think about stage directions and kind of working out the logistics of a scene. Especially sometimes it might not be that logical. So okay, instantly looks better.
It
I'm just
does.
going to generate the next.
Visually, yeah, visually looks better.
Okay. Fine wisps of vapor. So I think it's because it's either because it's thinking or it's taking a bit of time to connect to the servers. Like once it starts generating, it's very quick. So it's either thinking or
Yeah.
taking time to connect. Still obsessed with that. Um,
I mean, overall, I think this feels better,
yeah,
closer to what you were going after.
absolutely. Yeah. I think the only
Yep.
thing I would say is that maybe it's still relying a bit too much on calling back to
Hmm.
stuff, but
Hmm.
because I've given it so little,
Yeah.
like I think any AI model would do that.
Yep.
It's fascinating that it's really like picking up on the room. Okay. Ha, this still hasn't generated. Yeah, it's oh okay. Speak of the devil and it shall appear. I mean, okay. I'm just gonna section that and just start generating the next one just so it's okay. Test two. Uh,
Yeah. So I think tightening that pacing prompt
yeah,
seemed to have helped.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you saw how quickly it generated once it started generating. Okay. I mean, I'm going to just change that to between because if his hand's not clamped on his eye that way. If it's thinking, does that mean you're paying for a lot of output tokens? I am not sure. Let me check my open. No, it won't be OpenRoot. It'll be. Oh my god, what's it called? It's not Playground platform.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I remember, OpenAI is charging for the thinking tokens. All of the models charge for the thinking tokens.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, though, GPT-5 is a lot cheaper than Sonnet. So,
Yeah. Like, I'm not especially worried. Um,
oh yeah, I mean, if you looked at OpenRouter right now, you wouldn't see a lot of expense. Unlike when we were testing Opus 4.1.
oh my god, that was painful. I mean, I still use Opus, but okay. Billing, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, and
Um,
to Eric's question, it does. I mean, you know, like right now we're testing basically with minimal information, so there's like no codecs or anything like that, because this is meant to just get kind of a feeling of, you know, does this model work for me writing, and it's kind of best just to do what we're doing here, give it a piece of your own writing and ask it to continue, and especially compared to like your daily driver model, you know, like for Kate Sonnet 4, right?
yeah, or
Um,
Opus.
yeah,
Okay, so I've done 16 requests today. So that's including stuff from before this session, which I was generating longer pieces of prose. I've spent
yeah,
37 cents. Um, I don't know how much of that is thinking or not. I can't see like individual um, expenditure. I don't think, but 37 cents on these tests so far. Um, this has still got more dialogue, but I think because the stuff before it's like in the middle of a oh yeah, GPT is like it's cheaper than Sonnet. It's
yeah,
like 10 times cheaper than Opus or something. It's like
yeah,
ridiculously cheap. Like it's cheaper than Sonnet. So um yeah. Um I think all models tend to get more expensive once you have more context, like over the 200,000 mark, but yeah. Okay, so this is definitely got more chat, but I
hmm,
think this kind of scene requires it.
yeah,
Like it feels appropriate, so I'm not yeah. Yeah, this feels like an appropriate level of conversation.
yeah. And there's a decent amount of description inserted between the dialogues. So,
Yeah. I had a generation trying out a sonar reasoning model, and it charged me for 250,000 output tokens. On that one generation, the thinking part alone cost me more than $2. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of money. Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of curious now. Let's go to. I'm going to do this instead of to continue the story. I'm going to try and give it a bit more instruction and see how it does.
mhm.
And soon she can't see the path. Howls in the distance. I think that'd be enough. So Sonic costs $3 input,
Yeah,
$15 output. GPT-5 is 1.25 in 10 out, and that's per million. So yeah, 60% average of Sonnet. Okay, let's see how this does with just giving a bit more instruction and also kind of not having too much dialogue. And we'll wait about 3 hours. I've run out of tea, unfortunately. Although I am getting very hot, so it's probably a good thing I've run
Yeah,
out.
like if you were in the OpenAI playground, you would see the thinking,
Yeah,
going on right now. See, the fact that you also have given it not only in the instructions for the preset, but also now implicit instructions. I'm trying to say explicit instruction in the
yeah,
beat. It's. I mean, it seems normal that it would trigger thinking because
yeah,
it wants to plan it without using those keywords like think carefully.
yeah. And now we're still waiting, but yeah. Maybe while that's doing that, we could have a look and see maybe if we add in oh, now it's at the moment I look away. Okay. So, the mist lifted off the path, the white threads knitting across the path. Oh, lift off the ground, white threads knitting across the path until the track vanished. Red stepped quicker, then paused. Boots sang uh,
Just out of curiosity, do birds click in British English? That's a very unusual phrase for me.
yeah.
I can imagine that being used for insects, but it seems to, at least to my ears, it seems
Let me
unusual.
Google. Do birds click? Some birds do make clicking sounds.
I mean,
Like
like their
parrots.
beaks also, but it's
Yeah.
just it's an interesting phrase.
Yeah, that is an interesting phrase.
I mean, it's one of the fun things about GPT-5 that is quite different than before.
Yeah. Foxes, she told the mist. Another answered. Not foxes. Um, it's still really feeling the need to speak. Yeah, maybe
Yes,
they're
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's true about like Kat saying about ravens. Ravens do.
yeah, okay, so maybe atmospheric ravens kind of works. But yeah, I think like it's fine. I think maybe if we were asking for it to make a longer paragraph, um, it would work. Let's try and do something like give it a bit more space to play around with. Maybe it's just like not having enough yet. That we test 3, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the novel is set for
The novel
British
is set to
English,
British
so
English. Yeah.
yeah, so it knows.
She sees things. Oh, when you
Plus,
said things to thinks, I was in mine. I was looking back up at the
yeah,
messages. She sees a shape, um, a shadow in the dark. Scared. Uh, a rabbit goes forward, sees rabbit. It's in. It's mauled. Let's see if I get some moderation now. Well put. Never expected to be playing with GPT model for prose generation. Yeah, I did not. This is like
yeah. I mean,
crazy good for
that's why Kate and
GPT.
I tried so hard to fine tune GPT models to try to get to write like us, but
Yeah,
it would write like us, but it wouldn't follow our
instruction.
instructions.
Yeah, it was like it sounded like us, but it was rebelling, and it was like, okay, thanks. It was writing like my muse does, in that not the thing I was meant to be writing. Goes forward, sees rabbits mauled. Here's a sound behind her. I think I'll give it 400. See if it adds some atmosphere, does some more stuff.
And if it doesn't like the word mauled, you can change it to curdled or clotted. Sorry, clotted.
The rabbit is curdled. That's a new
Yeah.
euphemism.
Curdled rabbit.
Sounds almost like a name, like Curly the Curdled Rabbit, or like a breed name or something. Okay. Nice. Okay. We're getting some more description.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like bracken is also a very British
Yeah.
word.
Oh, I like that. Fur clumped with wet.
Hmm. I mean, I think that turned out pretty well.
Yeah. I really like that.
And see,
Um,
it's not like your scene beat was super long, but you were really specific about the actions that you wanted to happen.
yeah.
So
It's followed the instructions well.
yeah. And it's written in much longer passages of description too, based on the preset. So
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of curious now.
I mean, this is pretty cool because we've, other than like the prep that you and I were doing this morning before the stream, we've only really spent an hour just kind of tweaking this preset to get
Yeah.
it, more like you. Um, that's a pretty nice return on 1 hour invested time.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. This prompt doesn't do as well with Sonnet, which is fair. Didn't
Hmm.
expect it to, but interesting. Yeah, I think it's like I think this shows very much that you don't want to rely on one prompt for um every model. Like you want to kind of
Yeah,
fine tune your prompts to
yeah,
work hand in hand with your model. Just the general purpose prompt. Let
yeah.
me get it for you all now. But yeah, I would say only use this for GPT model. Oh, I was going to try 1 minute. Let me get this for you. Copy to clipboard. GPT. It's just sorry, that's the wrong thing. Um, it's just the general purpose prompt, so everyone has that. Let me there you go. We were going to try with Mini before I went and see
Yeah,
how it did. I just
yeah.
remembered. So let's just see how it does with Mini, and then we'll head off. So on Saturday, unless anyone releases another model, which could happen, Gemini hasn't released anything since GPT-5 came out, and bit suspicious. Um, we're gonna do like a comparison between DeepSeek, GPT-5, Claude Sonnet, and Gemini Pro. I'm still debating whether to because I could do just with the general purpose prompt, but part of me is like, oh, do I do it with a better do I have a prompt for each version to give the best possible comparison, like of the best possible pros?
I mean, the GPT-5 mini has its moments, but it also seems like it's writing much more on the nose and not like letting the reader fill in the blanks in their own
Yeah.
imagination. Yeah.
So maybe that would be something we'd have to prompt for. Um, but we noticed that it was on the nose when we were doing the tests on Saturday. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was interesting. I feel like it's certainly helping the pros with this. But yeah, we'd have to. Um, okay, so Dragon Aloft says a comparison using an individual prompt for each model would be interesting, but more work for you. That is true. Um, might be interesting though. I guess Corey and I can work on those, and like I think it'd help people as well to see that, because I think a lot of the times it's like out of the bat models aren't always great, but you can get some really good pros out of them if you just like spend a little bit of time looking at it. So it might be something worth doing. Do you fancy having a meeting and trying to get some prompts for
Yeah.
different models?
Yeah. Especially like, because like you were comparing it with Sonnet, which is your typical daily driver, right?
Yeah,
And just looking at the two generations, one Sonnet, one GPT-5, no extra instructions, what are the differences? That's kind of like what a person would have to go through if they have like a particular model they really like using.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so I think it'd be interesting and like to make a specific GPT-5, Sonnet, Gemini, and Thingy DeepSeek prompt to get the best possible like iterations, and then we can compare the pros from that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also compare it from out the bat, like just out of the box, because I think they're both interesting to know for kind of working with the models.
mhm,
Because if you can prompt all of them to give similar quality pros, then there isn't a best model. It's more about you putting in the effort to make the model you want to work.
yeah.
But if it's a matter of like there is a clear winner even with prompting, then that's good to know. So I think that'll make an interesting Saturday stream. I'm very intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, we are going to head off, have our dinner slash lunch, get back to work, all that good stuff. Thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. Your interactions are very helpful, and I think it's been good to hear your thoughts on things. I hope you feel like you've learned something from this, and feel free to take the preset from the Notion document. Um, yeah, it might depend on the genre you're writing. I mean, I tried to have here like a fantasy horror esque, a dystopian sci-fi, and a cozy mystery to try and give things differently.
Yeah.
But genre absolutely will impact on things.
Yeah. And it
Um,
had to actually infer the genre from your writing because you didn't
yeah,
have a codex entry for it. So
exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah. No, you're very welcome, everyone. It was a pleasure. And we'll see you on Saturday. Bye.
bye.